What if I told you that the most famous ruins in the world were built with a secret? That the straight, perfect columns you see in every photo aren't actually straight at all? Look at any picture of the Parthenon, and your brain tells you a simple story. You see rows of majestic marble columns, standing proud and perfectly vertical against the Greek sky. They look like they were drawn with a ruler, ancient, precise, and timeless. But that's an illusion, because the truth is there isn't a single straight line in the entire building. Every column you're looking at leans inward. The floor curves upward in the center. The steps bow. For over 2,000 years, this masterpiece of stone has been fooling your eyes on purpose. And the reason why reveals one of the most brilliant secrets of the ancient world. So how did the Greeks build a temple that looks perfect by designing it to be imperfect? And what were they trying to tell us? Let's start with what you think you see. The Acropolis rises over Athens like a crown of white marble. At its heart stands the Parthenon, the temple to the goddess Athene, completed around 432 BC. It was meant to be a statement, a symbol of power, culture, and divine favor. And to achieve that, its architects, Ictinos and Callicrates, didn't just want it to be strong. They wanted it to feel alive. Because if you built the Parthenon with truly straight lines and perfect right angles, something strange would happen to the human eye. On that grand scale, straight horizontal lines would appear to sag in the middle. Vertical columns would seem to spread apart at the top. The whole structure would look heavy, slightly wrong, almost like an optical illusion working against it. The Greeks didn't have modern engineering software. But they had something just as powerful, an intimate understanding of human perception. So they introduced what architects now call entases, a gentle, almost invisible swelling in the middle of each column. If you held a string from the base of a column to the top, you'd see the marble curves outward just slightly before tapering again. It's a subtle bulge, a breath held in stone, and it wasn't a mistake. It was a correction for our own eyes, a way to make the columns appear straighter and more muscular than they actually were. But the genius doesn't stop there, because the columns don't just swell, they also tilt. Every single one leans inward, toward the center of the temple, by about 2.5 inches. And if you extended those imaginary lines upward, they'd all meet about 1 mile high in the sky. The corner columns are even thicker than the others, adding visual strength where shadows fall deepest. Even the platform the Parthenon sits on isn't flat. It curves upward in the center so rainwater would run off, yes, but also so it wouldn't look like it was sinking under the weight of the gods now. Doing all of this with hand tools, massive marble blocks, and no digital models was an almost supernatural feat of craftsmanship. Each column was built from stacked drums, carved individually and fitted together with metal clamps sealed in molten lead. The lean, the curve, the spacing, all of it was calculated and cut by eye and experience. There were no second chances, no undo buttons, just years of work, trusting that these subtle distortions would resolve into perfection once the final piece was set in place, and they did. When the Parthenon was completed, it didn't just stand, it appeared to soar. Under the shifting Athenian light, the building seemed to breathe. The shadows between the columns changed with the sun, making the structure feel dynamic, not static. It was an architecture of emotion, designed to evoke awe not just through size, but through feeling. It was built for humans, by humans, who understood how humans see for centuries, This hidden language of curves and leans went unnoticed by most visitors. It wasn't until the 19th century that surveyors with precise instruments confirmed what some had long suspected, that the Parthenon was a carefully orchestrated illusion. And today, that illusion is part of why it remains one of the most copied buildings in history. Renaissance architects, neoclassical designers, even modern builders, they've all tried to capture its harmony. But many missed the secret. That true beauty often lies not in perfect geometry, but in the adjustments made for the human heart. The Parthenon has survived fires, explosions, theft, and wars. What's left today is a scarred but powerful skeleton. Yet even in ruins, its presence is undeniable. Because those leaning columns, that curved flaw, they still speak the same visual language. They still trick the eye. They still make you feel, rather than just see, the genius of an ancient world that knew how to build for eternity. What other ancient secrets do you think are hiding in plain sight? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to explore more wonders of the world, make sure to subscribe to Wonder Explorer.